Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. Once again, coming your way with another one of my famed movie/Blu-ray reviews. Today I will be reviewing the movie and the Blu-ray of Ninja 3, The Domination. As always, I'll be talking about the movie first, then I'll be reviewing the Blu-ray. That's the first Blu-ray put out by Scream Factory. They have since put out another Blu-ray. I got the first Blu-ray before they put out the second Blu-ray, so I'll be reviewing the first Blu-ray. My history with this film, I don't know exactly when I saw it. I want to say I bought one of the first North American VHS releases used years and years ago. I wanted to showcase that. I looked for it. I can't seem to find it at this point, so I won't be showcasing the VHS I got of it. But I want to say at some point, maybe early 2000s, 21st century, at some point I came across the VHS and saw it that way for the very first time. I kind of liked it and kind of didn't, so I didn't really think too much of it at the time, and then years later I did come across previously viewed this the first Scream Factory Blu-ray release of it and watched it and didn't think too much of it and put it away, and then recently revisiting the films which are included in the kind of unofficial Ninja trilogy by the name of Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and then that obviously made me want to revisit and review Ninja 3, The Domination. I revisited this film again, and I gotta tell you, even though it's directed by Sam Furstenberg, the director of probably my all-time favorite ninja movie of all time by the name of Revenge of the Ninja, I gotta tell you that this movie leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't know if I like it even too much more than Enter the Ninja. There's aspects about it that are better, but there's aspects of Enter the Ninja I like more as well. So it's really tough to say. So as I said, this is the final film in the trilogy of the unofficial or official Ninja trilogy of Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and Ninja 3, The Domination. And like I said in my reviews of the first two films in this trilogy, it's kind of weird that these films are considered a trilogy because there's really nothing linking the three films except for the appearance in all three films of Sho Kosugi. I think I've been saying his name wrong. I might be saying Sho Kosugi from now on, even though I don't know how much more Sho Kosugi I'm going to be talking about, because this is the last of the Sho. You could kind of pretty much call it the Sho Kosugi trilogy if you really wanted to. Who knows, maybe in the days, weeks, months, years to come I will be reviewing more Sho Kosugi movies. So this movie starts with some ninja in the desert going into this secret cave and opening this one area, this one container or something like that. I want to say it's like even built into the rocks or some kind of weird goofy Indiana Jones kind of thing, where the ninja goes into this cave and finds his ninja weapons, and he suits up, his ninja garb and ninja weapons, and suits up and leaves the cave, and they cut to like this this golf guy, this golf course, and this one guy, this kind of sexy ass chick in the golf cart driving around doing golf, and I think he's got all kinds of bodyguards around. I don't think they say really much about this guy other than he's like some important scientist. I kind of think it's funny how the beginning of this movie, like, I don't know, there isn't more really said about this important scientist that's golfing with this kind of attractive busty chick and his golf cart or whatever, and it's a bummer that she wasn't in the movie more, quite honestly, because she was kind of sexy or whatnot. But the movie opens with basically this ninja assassinating this important golf playing hot chick enthusiast who's also some kind of important scientist, assassinates this guy, and then all the kind of bodyguards or police or whoever's around him or whatever end up chasing down this ninja. So the movie opens, with pretty much the first two films in this trilogy, with a pretty more or less kind of quote unquote exciting action scene or whatever. It is kind of epic, honestly, the action scene at the beginning of this movie. Is police basically chasing this ninja assassin all over the place, doing this and that. They end up getting basically. And I gotta tell you, obviously it's ninja, kung fu ninja movie nonsensory and ridiculousness, but I gotta tell you, the ninja really, gets the better of a lot of these guys for quite a while, until they end up getting them all surrounded and gunning them down. And it seems like, they gun him down 2 or 3 times, and he pops up and stuff, and the last thing he does is kind of throw one of those, smoke things, and boof, and then he's like gone, and then they all leave. And then it's really kind of cool because he basically just, then he comes out, he basically in a cloud of smoke, he just buried himself. So after they all leave, after they blew him away, like I want to say it was 1 or 2 times, then this ninja is still miraculously alive, is able to dig himself out of the ground and I don't know, go limp or crawl on over to this one hot chick, the main star of this film. This hot chick, basically, she's like a telephone repair woman's, slash frickin' aerobics dance instructor slash sexy ass chick slash who the hell knows what the hell she is. She's got a lot of talents in this film. She's basically doing some telephone repair work when she comes across this wounded ninja who's been shot and killed at least 1 or 2 times at this point and dug himself out of the ground to limp over to her telephone pole so he could kind of surprise her. And I guess kind of it's kind of cool to a certain aspect because he basically leaves this sword to her, which as the movie wears on we come to find out the sword is kind of cool. This is the kind of 1984 or 1984 I think, so it's kind of the era of, I don't know if Ghostbusters wouldn't necessarily even come out yet, but Poltergeist and Amityville Horror. So it's kind of like a little bit of, kind of haunted stuff. There's a little bit of haunted aspect of this film, Poltergeist, Ghostbusters, Amityville, kind of supernatural aspect. This sword that this ninja assassin leaves with this hot-ass aerobics instructor slash, telephone repair woman. He leaves her the sword, and the sword she just puts in her closet or whatever, and the sword will come to life every now and then and kind of possess this hot-ass chick with the personality, I guess. It kind of possess her with the personality of the ninja that was assassinated at the beginning of this movie. And what's really kind of cool is the premise. They don't do it for too long, but it's kind of like, for a while there, the premise of this movie is, the sword possesses, every now and then when it feels like it, the sword possesses the hot aerobics instructor slash telephone repair woman to, possesses her to go kill the cops that murdered him and shot him dead once or twice or thrice, or I don't know how many times they shot him dead and he died in the opening scene of this movie. But that's the general premise of Ninja 3, and I don't know why it's called the Domination, maybe because the ninja's spirit dominates the hot-ass chick from time to time. So there is this kind of soap opera plot point of this film, which is basically unbeknownst to her, aka the ninja that possesses her. Every now and then, this woman ends up meeting and bedding down with one of the kind of quote-unquote hunky cops that actually killed the ninja assassin, and they kind of do it in a cool way where they kind of have him backlit by the sun, so you don't necessarily know if it's him for a while. I think you do. Maybe I only did because I saw it before or whatever, but anyway, they kind of try to, keep this guy's face, the flashbacks of this guy's face kind of shrouded in shadow, backlit by the sun or something. But it turns out that this kind of quote-unquote hunky guy who's like a werewolf, who's got hair all over his body and his back and his arms and stuff. And I gotta tell you, I got hair on my back as well, but I guess that's one of the benefits of having like lighter kind of brown, kind of brown hair versus black, is at least, it doesn't look quite so, it's not so noticeable necessarily when you got hair all over your body and it's, a lighter color or whatever. But I gotta tell you, seeing this guy in tank tops and stuff, and when he's his back to the camera, it's just like, oh my god, he's in the wrong movie. Maybe he should have been in Ninja Wolfman or Wolfman Ninja or something like that. Who knows, maybe he is in Ninja Wolfman and I just never was aware of that movie's existence. But at any rate, this obviously that kind of becomes a point of contention. And once the woman, it's not, it isn't really the woman, it's kind of like the possessed aspect of this woman that's possessed by the ninja assassin kind of gets wind of at one point that, oh my god, kind of has a flashback that this quote-unquote hairy hunky guy that she's bedded down with and started a relationship with was in fact one of the murderers of this ninja assassin. I think there's at least two separate scenes where the woman gets possessed by the sword, aka, the frickin' ninja assassin character who's dead and possesses her, his soul or entity or spirit or whatever possesses this hot chick. and goes and kills this one guy who was also featured in Revenge of the Ninja, I want to say, and he's also prominently featured in American Ninja. This guy, he'd be in a lot of these Sam Furstenberg films, but he's killed, I think, at his house, and there's this other scene where this other guy, these two guys are the, two of the cops that, assassinated the ninja assassin, or not assassinated, but killed the ninja assassin at the beginning of the film. So she's kind of got, not she, but the soul, the spirit of the dead ninja that's possessing her has this vendetta to, through her, get the revenge and kill as many of these people who killed him at the beginning of the movie as possible. So I think there's at least two scenes where she kills, possessed by the ninja, kills this one guy at his house, and then the second scene where it's kind of like she's kills this one guy who's in the hot tub with these two sexy chicks is kind of cool, because she comes into the hot tub all dressed sexy in like a bathing suit as well, and it's just kind of a fun scene for a straight male like myself to just see the three hot women in the hot tub and swimwear and stuff. And that scene was kind of cool because she not only killed the guy, but I get for some reason, well, she's possessed by Ninja, so Ninja doesn't care. I think that she also kills the three chicks that were in the hot tub as well. So that scene was kind of a standout scene for me, and one that was really kind of fun and enjoyable. I honestly, I don't think there's any, I can't remember if there's any toplessness in this movie. I don't think there is. That would have been a perfect opportunity in this reviewer's, opinion to show some toplessness, but alas, I mean, it's still, at least it's hot chickage and bathing suitage, so I mean, can't complain too much. Okay, so I don't know, throughout the course of this movie, she becomes aware of the fact that she's basically being, I don't know if she becomes aware of the fact that she's being possessed by a ninja, but at some point she realizes that she's got some problems. So Harry, hunky policeman boyfriend, takes her to this one guy. It's incidentally, it's that guy who's in the bad guy from, I don't know his name right now, but Big Trouble in Little China. He's the guy in Blade Runner who sold the eyes, and everyone, movie fans know who that guy is, and I should be able to remember his name, but I can't. But that guy, I was like, oh wow, that guy's in this. This is kind of a movie that has a mind wipe on me. Like, I see it like 2 or 3 times at this point. Every time I watch it, it's like I'm seeing it kind of for the first time. It's really strange how some movies do that, have that effect where it's like a mind wipe, and even though you've seen them before, it's like every time you watch it, for me, it's like seeing it for the first time. But they, Harry hunky boyfriend takes her to this guy who, chains her up, and another movie. Okay, this is reminding me what this is kind of like Exorcist Ninja, because obviously at this point Exorcist had been out for, I think, like 10 years or somewhere around 10 years or whatever, and obviously Exorcist 2 and things. So yeah, those are the genres that this movie kind of blends, like Exorcist with Ninja. So you could call this movie, it could be Ninja 3, The Domination, or Exorcist Ninja, basically. If you were going to make this movie, just put it straight to video these days, you'd call it possibly Exorcist Ninja. But there's this really, really funny scene where they take her to this guy from Big Trouble in Little China and Blade Runner and all these movies and TV shows and stuff, and chain her up because this guy's, he's done this before, bad things can happen. Chain her up and, say some incantations, whatever this or that, to kind of get the possessed, which I guess throughout the course of the movie, I mean, I guess the soul of the ninja is kind of in her at all times and just comes out whenever the hell it wants to or whatever. I don't think the ninja's or the sword has to float. That's another thing I forgot to mention. The ninja sword kind of, whatever it wants to possess her or whatever, it kind of floats out of the closet and floats into her hands, and that's really kind of a fun gimmick. I wish I would have seen this as a kid, because I would have totally ate that stuff up, and obviously would have liked to watch the hot chick. I mean, I like to watch the hot chick now as well, but I can see enjoying this a little more maybe if I would have saw this as a kid, around the time when I saw not Enter the Ninja, but Revenge of the Ninja and American Ninja. As I said, those are the 2 ninja films that I grew up with, and it would have been nice to have grown up with some more. And incidentally, I can remember when I did that showcasing of Enter the Ninja VHS, I can remember going through the ninja section in the 80s in the video store, and I think I did pick up that box and I looked at the back of it, but that shot of Franco Nero with no shirt and the nunchucks just with that goofy ass expression, I think is kind of what put me off to that film, and I think I put that box down and grabbed the Revenge of the Ninja box at that time, because the images on the back were far more appealing to me at that time. So I almost rented Enter the Ninja as a kid, but I'm so glad that I rented Revenge of the Ninja instead. So during this, this scene where she's all tied up at this one guy and he's bringing basically making, through incantation of whatever this or that or saying words and stuff, the evil kind of ninja that's possessing this chick kind of comes out and she's saying all kinds of scary things. And there's this funny ass part of the scene where they got some just dummy, in this getup that she's all tied up in, and it's like she's tied up from like one of the main, the chain she's got is one on. They put this belt thing around her, so it's got a chain that goes from each side to each side to the wall to chain her up or whatever, or this pillar or whatever. She's chained side to side and arms and legs and stuff or something. And there's this one funny scene where they got some dummy in this thing, and they're like flipping the dummy around where she's going crazy, possessed by the ninja, and just it's totally fake, but it's flipping around and around and around. It's kind of like one of those little toy things you pull on each side, acrobat kind of things, and it goes back and forth or this way or that way and stuff. It is so freaking funny, that scene. She's just saying, kind of Linda Blair ripoff and, freaking ninja, like I say. Ninja Exorcist or Exorcist Ninja or whatever would be a perfect alternate title for this movie, but that scene was really fun. So when I was revisiting this movie recently, I was watching this, I'm like, Sho Kosugi is like the first billing, I think, in the opening credits, and it's like, it seemed like it was like halfway through the movie or even more, and I'm like, he hasn't even shown up yet, but at some point he does show up, and it turns out he's the kind of the good guy. My recollection was maybe he was the bad assassin, ninja assassin from the beginning, but it doesn't turn out to be that way. He turns out to be, once again, just like with the second film, Revenge of the Ninja. In this film, he's the good ninja. It kind of would have been maybe cool if it could have been he could have been Cho, the character from Revenge of the Ninja, but he's on all three films, and I think he's a different character in each film. But in this case, he's a good ninja who I think it's hard for me to remember all the details of all these movies as I watch them and review them, but I think it's possible he had some negative past history with this ninja who's now possessing this hot chick, where he possibly had killed his family and injured his eye and this and that. The Sho Kosugi wears like an eye patch in this film, kind of a gimmick for this third and final film in this ninja trilogy, and so he kind of comes into the scene, and I can't honestly remember too much about his character showing up. He ends up getting hot on the trail of this possessed hot chick possessed by this ninja who probably did him harm in the past. So that's that aspect. And Sho doesn't have a whole hell of a lot to do in this movie. That's why I find it weird that I'm pretty sure in the opening credits he's the first billing. So towards the end of the film, I can't remember exactly how the hell it happened, but I remember this hot chick ends up, they did some kind of matte work or some kind of optical effect work in the desert to make it look like there's this kind of Eastern, Asian kind of, Japanese temple or whatever, just plumb smack dab right in the middle of nowhere in the desert or whatever. Pretty, decent, matte work or, visual effects work to make it look like that's actually in the desert in the middle of nowhere. So maybe she's drawn to I can't remember, forgive me, I can't remember the specifics of the end of the movie, but I don't know whether she's drawn to this location or whatever. Regardless, she eventually ends up at this location, and there's this scene where it looks like, I think she's possessed by evil ninja at this point, and good ninja's on her tail, and whatever, and there's this showdown. I can't remember if Sho fights her for a while, but whether he does or not, at some point there's also, I can't remember who, it's kind of, this temple thing is kind of like one of those Buddhist temples or something like that. I think the remainder of the film basically takes place there, where, as I said, I can't remember if there's like a showdown between the hot chick and the good ninja, Sho and the hot chick before. I was going to say that the body of the evil ninja is at this Buddhist temple or whatever this place is. Basically, I don't know. I don't know if these Buddhists, Buddhist priests or whatever the hell they're called, if they work for the bad ninja. I don't know what the hell, I can't remember all the details as I'm not the biggest fan of this film, but at any rate, the end of the movie finds, Sho basically finding the ninja that he wants to get revenge on, basically, and whether they have a battle with the hot chick and Sho or not, even if they do or don't, at some point the evil ends up coming out of the hot chick and goes back into the body of the evil ninja assassin from the beginning of the film who was gunned down, and then at that point Sho and this evil ninja fight it out. And I want to say, I don't know if some of these Buddhist, I can't remember if it's the Buddhist priests or whatever the hell they're called, monks or whatever, I don't know what they're called. There's a moment in this film for a while where Sho is like fighting some other, you know, people, like an army or something like that in the temple. So I don't know if the Buddhist priests or whatever the hell they are possessed or whatever, but honestly it's kind of a shame, because I don't know if it has to do with the fact that because I didn't grow up with it or what, but it's kind of weird how it, you know, I grew up with the second film of this trilogy and probably regard that as my favorite ninja film. But then the first film and the third film in this trilogy I didn't grow up with, and don't like those films terribly that crazy amount of muchness. But you know, but then I always looked to American Ninja 2, and I saw that like immediately after it came out on home video. And so I saw that like when I was 12 years old, and I don't think that's very good. So I guess it's not just because you grew up with something necessarily, but I do have to say that obviously, you know, Sho, good ninja, defeats bad ninja. Unfortunately, it's so crazy. Like I say, it's a mind wipe. I can't remember, you know, how it all went down. Probably just the same as so many of these ninja movies do or whatever. I would imagine that hot chick ends up with hairy, hunky policeman guy. I can't remember that at all. But I mean, that's basically how this movie goes or whatever. And my star rating for this film, I think I'm going to go a slight titch above my star rating for Enter the Ninja. I gave that 2 stars out of 4 stars. I think we can be we can go as high as 2, and we'll go as high as 2.5 stars out of 4 stars for Ninja 3, The Domination, just because I guess for no better reason it's got some hot aerobics, kind of athletic aerobics instructor, you know, slash telephone repair woman is the kind of the main character. And although you don't see her like naked, you see her in scantily clad underwear, this and that throughout the course of the movie, sexy bathing suit and stuff like that. So she's fun to be the main character. Like I say, the boyfriend, who's a hairy boyfriend, is kind of honestly just kind of nasty to see all his hair. You know, when we see all his hair on his back and all. You know, nothing. Not saying anything about hairy people. I got hair on my back, but I'm fortunate to have lighter color. You know, lighter color hair on my on my back. But anyway, I'm not reviewing my back. But yeah, I guess that'll do it for my review of the film. Unfortunately, not something that I hold in ridiculously high regard. I do want to say before I get onto the Blu-ray review that, you know, remembering back to kind of her apartment or the, you know, where she lives in this movie, that's seen several times throughout the course of the movie, you know, 3, 4, 5 times or whatever. They kind of, in true kind of movie magic fashion, she's got a really cool, and this happens in a lot of movies where characters have really, really cool, you know, dwelling, you know, living locations and stuff, like a complete movie, you know, set, where this is just so kind of cool and production design and stuff. She's got like a payphone on the wall, and she's got all this and that. I can't remember all the details, but she's got one of these, I think, really famous paintings from the 80s. This movie is like almost mid-80s, so it's 84, so it's, unlike the first 2 films, it's kind of, those movies are more like late 70s, early 80s feel. This one's really got like kind of the mid-80s feel, where it's got that, you know, I can't stress enough, like her apartment or the place she lives in this movie, her house, you know, her home, it reeks of 80s. She's even got like an arcade game, you know, cabinet thing that kind of plays a part in the movie where it gets possessed or some smoke comes out of it, or laser beams and this kind of shit. So I do gotta say, like, it's actually one of the cooler aspects of this movie, like her apartment or her place of her dwelling or her place of living in this film is really kind of cool, and it's just dripping 80s, like you know, like you wouldn't believe. Like, you know, I'm thinking back on her place, or her, you know, set for where she lives in this movie, and I don't think it could be any more 80s. And now on to my review of the Scream Factory, it is Scream Factory, aka Shout Factory Blu-ray release that came out in 2013, their first Blu-ray release of Ninja 3, The Domination. It's a double disc set. It's back when they were doing Blu-ray and DVD combos. I got this previously viewed at some point years ago, and they have since put out a new Blu-ray edition with probably what they would deem as a newer 4K scan or whatever. But I got this one, and since I'm not the biggest fan of the film, and this Blu-ray works just fine, I have no need for the other Blu-ray that they have released. Taking a look at the back here with special features, we've got audio commentary by director Sam Furstenberg and stunt coordinator Steve Lambert. I want to say that's the same guy who does commentary with Furstenberg on the Kino Blu-ray release of Revenge of the Ninja. And then you've got theatrical trailer. I was kind of bummed when I revisited this Blu-ray. I can remember, you know, interviews or something like that. I thought there were interviews from, you know, from the hot chick. Maybe there's interviews with her on the more recent Blu-ray release or something like that. So kind of sparse on the special features, admittedly, but you know, what the hell are you going to do? I don't think I ever listened to any of the commentary on this one, or may have. Whether I did or not, I can't remember jack shit. If I did listen to any of the commentary, I would imagine it's very similar to the one they did for Revenge of the Ninja. I always think it's really cool when they include a theatrical trailer. Honestly, I think every single disc release of a movie, be it Laserdisc, you know, DVD or Blu-ray or 4K or anything like that, they should, at by bare bones minimum, include a trailer for that movie, you know, that is featured on the disc. I think that is just like, if you're gonna have just one extra thing, that would be what I would want in most cases. It's really kind of a bummer when, and it used to be more common. And it seems to be something that's not as common anymore, which is a kind of a bummer. To me, the theatrical trailer for a film, you know, particularly an older film, is definitely one of the first kind of most important extras that I could ever want on a movie release on a disc. What can I say? The image quality on this release is very, very, very good. That's why it's kind of just a goofy thing. I mean, they did that for a while when Scream Factory / Shout Factory was, put out initial run of titles on Blu-ray, and then years later, I don't know if it was like 5 or more years later, then they started re-releasing titles with new cover art and, purported 4K scans and stuff like that. They did it with Slumber Party Massacre, this film obviously, and so many other films where it was a lot of the Roger Corman films like Piranha and stuff like that they put out on Blu-ray, and only to put them out on Blu-ray again with a supposed purported higher resolution scan and all this and that. Honestly, if you've got just the original frickin' Blu-ray of a lot of these Scream Factory titles, you're fine. You don't need the upgrade, in my opinion, but that's just me. The image quality, as I was saying, looks fabulous. Me not being a huge fan of this movie, I don't really have a lot to compare it to, even though I may have seen the original VHS years ago, but the image quality is great, nothing to complain about. And it's really kind of a bummer how out of all 3 films in the trilogy, this is, I think, the first and only one to be featured in, basically stereo. I don't know if they call it Dolby Stereo or whatever, but regardless, this film, unlike the first 2 films in the Ninja trilogy, is actually in stereo, which is something that's instantly recognizable or, discernible. The sound on this Blu-ray release, I want to say, is, I can't remember, but I would imagine it's just, 2-channel stereo. I would imagine I only watched it on a TV just with the stereo, but you can definitely tell it's stereo and sounds great with all its 80s kind of music and sound effects and this and that. So I would definitely, don't turn up your nose at this release. Like if you come across this release, previously viewed at a store or something like that, or a place that you can just find previously viewed movies and Blu-rays and stuff, don't turn up your nose on this first Blu-ray release of this film, because I mean, for me, I think it does the movie just fine. So I can't obviously compare it to the second Blu-ray release they put out, but I mean, shit, I guess this Blu-ray release does just fine for me. As I've already stated, this release from 2013 is a double disc combo. I loved when they did these. Got Blu-ray disc and DVD disc. You don't have reversible artwork for this title. They used the original artwork for the cover, which is much appreciated by me, but what they do have on the other side of the cover, front and back, is, I guess, international poster artwork for this title, which is really kind of cool. Looks like one of the titles in a different language, maybe Italy or something like this. Another title for this title is Trancers, which is kind of interesting, because as we all know or might not know, there's already a different movie directed by Charlie Band with Tim Thomerson by the name of Trancers. So it's really kind of cool to see these different international posters on the inside of the front and back cover. Guess that about does it for my movie / Blu-ray review of Ninja 3, The Domination. Definitely worst ninja films out there, but I'd also say definitely better ones as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, we'll catch you on the next video.
Oh, yeah, sucker! Yeah! Yeah!